Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the second season of the Strong Perspective Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong. I'm with my brother Damon Armstrong, Jaquari Armstrong. We're here to basically to give you every man's opinion, everyday people's opinion, talk about the things that we care about and what you care about. So come along, enjoy our ride, and do the things that we need to do and be present as we evolve into what we're evolving into. Because you are evolving along with us. When you hear us talk, when we have our guests on, our guests, they evolve after our conversations. And we take a good part of what they give us when they open up to us. So take this ride with us, people. We're enjoying ourselves. And thank you very much. Damon, how you doing, brother?
Doing all right, man. Feeling blessed. I'm glad I'm above ground. And just taking it a day at a time, man. You know what I'm saying? I've grown accustomed to doing that, man. So it's working for me.
Okay. Jaquari, how you doing, brother?
Man, I'm living and I'm trying to be an example, brother. That's all I'm doing. Trying to be an example, man. Just enjoying this, man. Enjoying it even more. Because we have positive problems. We talk about our guest list. That's a good thing when you're dealing with a venture like this. We have a lot of people, man, in our lives who have something to say. Things along the lines that we have to say, things that differ from the things that we have to say. But the point is, this is a platform, man, where everybody can come and feel comfortable and be family, man, because that's the vibe that I've been getting, man. I haven't talked to a stranger on this podcast yet.
Okay. Yeah, and as I said, this is season 2 for us, ladies and gentlemen. Meaning that we've had so many different lives in the can, and we're enjoying what we're doing. Understand, I got this hat on because I'm straight Detroit. I'm the Detroit Lions, Pistons, Red Wings, and the Tigers, baby. So I'm representing like a motherfucker. You see my brothers, they recommended Michigan. Damon, you got Albion College on. Why you got that on, brother?
Man, that's where my two youngest went, man. My son, he'll be graduating next May. Morgan just graduated from it this past year. She's at U of M right now getting a master's degree, so and she'll be done in December. So, I just had to represent them, man, because they put in the work, and very proud of them, man. Very proud of them.
Cool. Hey, Jaquari, I see, look, let them know why you a Tigers fan. What up, Lawrence? How you doing, baby boy?
I'm a Tigers fan, man, because, for the same reason that you mentioned before, man. I represent everything, Michigan, Motor City, whatever. I represent it, man, and I'm a diehard fan. Even though I don't know rosters or whatever, I can't even get games here in Virginia, but I'm still on that maize and blue and this orange and blue and that green and white. I'm all over it. And that red and white for the Red Wings because I rep them too.
Oh Lord, he said green and white, man. I'm still working on that, bro.
Look,
I'm still working on that, bro.
I can't help it, man. Because I mean,
well, you true blue, like you said. You true blue, like you said. But man, I hold grudges, man.
Look here, let me tell you something. To be honest with you, I'm a Pitt man till I die because that's where I went to school at and I played.
Yeah.
But you know where my heart is? My heart is all Michigan teams, man. I want to see them do well, period. You know why? Because I'm a true homeboy. It's real. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing about it is when we get caught up on loyalty, because I get it. I get it knocked in the head I get knocked in the head about being a Detroit Lions fan. You know what I'm saying? I get knocked in the head. But guess what? I'm going to stay. I'm going to stay. I'm going to do me. I'm going to do who I am. Because I grew up watching them. Billy Sims. You know what I'm saying? Look, Donaldson.
Eric Hipple. How about that?
Eric Hipple.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
That's real. That's real.
Hey, know how go ahead, bro.
No, go ahead, Dan.
You know how I can battle all that foolishness and them dumbass arguments, man? Look here, if you ain't from Boston, if you ain't from Philly, if you ain't from Dallas, I'm talking about all the teams in the NFL that won championships. If you ain't from them places, born and bred, I do not deal with bandwagon ass cats, man. I don't. You understand what I'm saying? Look, in the NBA, as far as the NBA is concerned, dude, you know what I'm saying? We part of the privilege, man. The Detroit Pistons. I don't care how long it's been. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we got 4 championships, dog. 3. We got 3 championships. You know what I'm saying? So, if you from Sacramento, I don't want to hear you. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If your state, your city, your professional basketball NBA basketball team ain't won a championship, don't talk about you an LA fan. Don't talk about you a Houston. I don't want to hear that, dude. You understand what I'm saying? Quit riding coattails, man. Stick with your shit. Now, guess what's going to happen? It's always going to happen. Detroit going to come back around and win another championship. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going to happen. Michigan going to come back around and win another championship. Don't talk about, man, y'all ain't been shit in 20 years. Where you from?
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? Where you grow up at? Where you from? If your team ain't won no national title, if they ain't won no NBA championship, you understand what I'm saying? If they ain't won no damn Super Bowl, you don't say shit to me, man. Don't represent San Francisco and you from goddamn Poconos and shit. You feel what I'm saying?
That's what I deal with here in the DMV area, man, with all these Cowboy fans, and we talk about dudes, well, men and women who ain't never been to the state of Texas, but they are diehard Cowboys fans.
But all right, now
ain't that a bitch?
Look. Let me just say this.
Really?
You can be a fan and not be from there. In all fairness, hold on.
My point was not being from there, Keith. My point was never even been there.
Let me say this. I'm not justifying the fanatic behavior. I'm not justifying that. What I'm saying to you is, you can be a fan, right? And you can be not from there.
Keith, you hear what Jacoy just said, man?
Hold on. Let me just say that because I'm in agreement with you guys. But my point is, I understand where other people come from. They have reasons why they are fans of a certain team. You see what I'm saying? It is what it is. But when you become fanatical, then I got a problem with it. I'm gonna let y'all chime in on these last bits, then we're gonna get to why we're here today.
All I'm saying is, if you from the DC area, ain't no way in the hell you should be a Cowboy fan, man. Period.
At all. There's no explanation for it, man. There's no excuse for it.
It is what it is. It is what it is. But look, you got something, Jaquan?
No, I was going to say when Damon mentioned the Pistons 3 championships, man. You know, I mean, there's that, man. But you know, we had the bad boy legacy, man.
We do.
You know, we was the last hard nosed team in the league. When you came to Detroit for the playoffs, man, but for in the NBA,
It was
You was gonna
scary
leave there
for
with
me.
some bumps and some bruises. You
It
know,
was
you
scary
had
for
to
me.
earn that shit. You had to earn your championships.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we was gonna kick your
Hey,
ass.
and
That's what it was.
here's my last point. I'm a black man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know nothing about hockey, but where's Hockey Town at, y'all? Where's it located?
Detroit!
Goddamn right.
Detroit Hockey
KJ, what's up,
Town.
brother? What's up,
What's
KJ? How
going
you
on,
doing?
brother? What's going on?
Hey, but look, this is Father's Day weekend, fellas. You know what I mean? And I don't know about you. I don't need to be recognized as being a father because it is one of the greatest privileges I've ever had in my life. And I've had great recognition throughout my life. And let me tell you, being a father was the greatest thing I've ever done. Okay? So Father's Day this Sunday. So we're going to make this, no matter how long it takes us to, because it could be a short time, whatever, how you guys feel, but we're going to make this a Father's Day episode, okay? But
All right with me.
I want our audience to understand, whoever's watching, happy Father's Day, cousin Buck, what you going on, baby?
Buck, what's going on, man? Man,
I
What's
love
up,
you,
cousin?
man. I love you,
Look,
baby.
I ain't seen your face in 20 years, man.
Yes, sir. But look, what we're going to do, guys who's watching this, if you post your comments, because I'm going to represent you through your comments. Let us know about your fathers, what you think, how you feel. Ladies, the same thing, if you're watching, okay? So brothers, let me just do this. I'm going to throw this out to you just to begin with. We're going to speak from a personal point of view. Our father, John Armstrong. Give me some of the memories. We'll start with you, Damon. Give me some of the memories that you have with John Armstrong. Hey, you can have Jaquari go first. I'll put you on the spot.
No, you ain't put me on the spot, man.
All right,
but
let's go, baby.
here's the thing, man. With as far as our dad was concerned, man, he was a great dude, man. You know what? He was a hard taskmaster, man. You know what I'm saying? The dude, our father, man, he held you accountable. You know what I'm saying? He was very stringent with that. You know what I'm saying? What you said was your word, and he expect you to be a man of your word, stuff like that, man. But you know, like I said earlier, he was a hard taskmaster, man. But once we became grown, we became men, and we started living our lives. Then he started showing us who he is. You know, in terms of, you know, what he thought, what he believed. Very intelligent guy, man. And I don't think most people understand or know that, man. You know, what was he used to say? Hey, man, just because you big, man, don't mean, you know, you dumb. You know, you learn something every day. You know, and you present that. You present that in your life and who you are as you know, as we began to structure ourselves as men. You know what I'm saying? He knew a little something about, you know, each one of us. And we would have conversations. Me and him would have conversations, whatever. He's like, okay, I understand what you mean, but how do you incorporate that into who you are as a man? You know what I'm saying? And then he'd pause and he'll hold you to that question. You know what I'm saying? And you had to answer it, man. You know, and you know he had a memory like an elephant, man. So he gonna call you on everything you say. And if it doesn't coincide with what he sees as you, and you know what he tried to mold into you becoming who you are as a man, he's gonna call you on that. You know what I'm saying? He never deviated from it, man. Which was annoying at times, man. But I understood why he did it.
No doubt. Jaquari.
Man, you know, I really can't say too much, you know, about John Edward Armstrong, man. I mean, you know, he was my greatest influence, man. Seriously, I like to believe that I learned all of my good traits from him. And the bad traits that I learned from him, I like to believe that he helped me to understand them. You know, I said a couple shows back, man. I learned a lot of lessons from flawed men, and that was one thing that my father never, or our father never, ever tried to bullshit us about. He always, emphasized the fact that he was a man. He was capable of great things, but at the end of the day, he was a man, and he had his weaknesses, and he had his, his faults and everything, man. But just the way he developed relationships, man, the way he conducted himself with people, I really respected it, and I noticed in, the majority of my successful relationships, the things that I learned from him and actually put those things into practice, man, have been a good thing for me. A lot of times I would, when I was a kid, I would bring stuff to him, and as my brother Damon said, he wasn't going to tell you the answer, but you were going to have that conversation with him, and through that conversation, he was going to help you get to your answer. He wouldn't tell you the answer, but he would ask pointed questions, man, that would help you figure things out. And he always emphasized that, as again my brother said, even though you're a big man, you need to be a thinking man. You always need to be a thinking man in every situation. You can't just walk into situations blind and expect everything to work out for you. You got to put your hands on it, and if you want it to be good, you got to point it towards the good. And it was as simple as that, man. Just I remember like Saturday mornings, man. Other kids is waking up in the morning watching cartoons, but it wasn't like that in our house. Saturday mornings, man, we watching Gunsmoke and doggone westerns and all that stuff. And he was the first person who ever heard use the term cowboy logic. And when he explained to me exactly what his definition of cowboy logic was, the only thing I could think was, yeah. It's simple thinking, man, simple right thinking. You're not trying to beat nobody out of nothing. You're not trying to project, put a false sense of yourself out for the public, to take in or whatever. This is who you are. It's honest, and you can either accept it or you don't have to accept it. But this is who I am, and that's what I always appreciated about our dad. This is who I am, and he never deviated from that, man. So that's it.
You know what? Just me personally, that the fact that I was the oldest, he and mom put the biggest responsibility on me, in which I wasn't ready for. But the fact that he asked me to look out for my younger brothers, period, and I was held fully accountable for whatever happened to you guys. I felt that was an honor. At first, I felt it wasn't fair, right?
Yeah, I don't think it was fair either, man, to be honest.
Yeah, but see, that's the whole point, though. What he did was put a goal in front of me, because all he wanted to do was, you make sure your brother is cool as long as they in your presence. And I can accept that. I was good with that. I was like any other kid, feeling my way through things and understanding that maybe I didn't know everything. I always wanted to be a part. I tell people all the time, I always wanted to be a part of the group. But then I was taught that the group wasn't shit then you ain't want to be a part of it. You know what I mean? And that was because of the responsibility that he and mom gave us. He gave me responsibility. Like, take care of your brothers. That wasn't a difficult job, especially for, hell, for me and you, Fluke, we was a year apart, so it wasn't difficult. I just said, yo, man, don't go down that motherfucking path. Because when I went down that motherfucking path, I stubbed my toe and it hurt. So don't you do it. You see what I'm saying? Quar, being as old as we were to you, like, yo, dude, that path is a shitty path. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Don't go down it.
Hey,
this is why. You see what I'm saying? So, what my strongest memory of him is him putting me in uncomfortable positions, but giving me room to make the decision that I wanted to make. And he always walked me through it. See, that's the key right there. Because he easily could have said, yo, do this. And don't say no more. But he was like, do this because if you don't, this will happen to you. Not what I'll do to you, but this will happen to you when you go down this road. And that's my strongest memory of it. I mean, I could, all three of us go all night with that, but we got to move on with this. But I wanted to make sure people understood that.
Yeah, I want to say these because these are things that really made a difference in my life, man. And I'm gonna keep it short. I remember one time one of my partners, man, got jammed up, went to prison and shit, dealing with some dumb crazy shit. And I went home to Pop and we was talking about it. I was like, damn, Pop, me and my boys, man, we crazy as hell, huh? He was like, son, they might be crazy, but you just stupid as hell, man. You know what I'm saying? How many times do you got to see these motherfuckers going to prison and shit for you to understand that you in the wrong crowd? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yeah, you right. But he said, but I understand, you know what I'm saying, that you got feelings for these brothers and you hate to see what happened to them happen to them. But you gotta think, you gotta use your head, son. You gotta think, you gotta make your head fat. I remember that.
Sir. Make your head fat.
Then he say, this other time, man, I called him one day, man. This is my freshman year in college. I called him because I was going through this independent study, black theology. And I was telling him, this particular book I was reading about was on by James Cone. And I called him, little ego and shit and all that. And I called him. I'm like, I'm gonna kick it with him about this shit. You know what I'm saying? Throw some stuff at him or whatever, right? So he let me talk. You know what I'm saying? And then I said, yeah, I'm at this chapter right now, and I'm going through this or whatever, and I'm still, writing down my notes or whatever. He said, okay, when you get to the next two chapters, man, give me a call, man. When he get into this and he get into that, you can chop it up about that shit. And I was like, okay. So I was quiet for like 30 seconds. Then he said, son, it's all right, man. I might have dropped out of school. That don't mean I stopped learning, man. You know what I'm saying? When you get to them other two chapters, call your dad, man. We gonna talk about it. You know what I'm saying? That was the most humbling shit in the world, man. For me, that was the most humbling shit in the world. He didn't get offended or nothing. He just, hey, dude, I hear what you're saying, but when you get to A, B, and C, then call and holler at me, man. You know what I'm saying? Then we can chop it up. We can talk about it. Because guess what we did growing up in Detroit? We was into the black theology shit. Going to plays and all that bullshit. So why wouldn't I know that he read all those books, man? You see what I'm saying? Remember all the books, man, him and mama used to have to be like boxes standing this damn tall?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They read them all.
And read every last, hell, mom went through and took notes on all the damn books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Jaquar, you have something to
It's
offer?
like, yeah, man. Like when he found out that I read an author named Robert Beck. Now Robert Beck's pen name was Iceberg Slim,
I serve
and the
Slim.
story, the book that I read was Pimp, the story of my life, right? And I didn't know he you know knew anything about it, right? But he seen me, carrying the book around, so he said, "Oh, you into that now, right?" And he wrote,
Right.
yeah, he talked about the subject matter and everything, but he was like, yeah, I'm just glad you're reading, son. But he turned me on to Donald Goins, and after he turned me on to Donald Goins, man, he turned me on to Chester Himes. Then he started turning me on to all these street writers and all that, man. And then, when I'd gone through them, that's when he started putting me on, the conscious stuff, man. He recommended How to Eat to Live by Elijah Muhammad. Message to the Black Man by Elijah Muhammad or whatever. He
Yep.
always talked about the Shrine of the Black Madonna down in Detroit. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
All every book, every book that has something to do with consciousness or whatever he read, I read. So that made a bond between us, man.
Yep.
And then if you think about Uncle Jimmy.
Yeah.
Uncle Jimmy
Yeah.
read everything, man.
You did.
Everything.
Highly intelligent human being. Period.
Yeah. Not only did he read it, but he discussed it deeply. He turned me on to Ayn Rand.
Oh my
You know what I
God.
mean?
Yep.
Yeah. Like
Yep.
I didn't learn about that. I didn't learn about that woman in school.
I
My
didn't.
uncle
You
told
know
me
what?
about that woman.
I ain't agree with him, but as I got older, I understand where he was coming with it and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Pop was like sitting in the background. Pop was more personable, man. It was like, okay, what is you going to read that's more inspiring to you as an individual person? Whereas Uncle Jimmy was talking about in a wide range global thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We used to have
you
hell of
read
a
it.
conversations, man.
Yeah. You read it you read it to catch the point of view.
So-
You read it even if it is enemy information, man. You read it so you
Yep.
know what the enemy is thinking.
Yep.
It's real.
Yep.
And I
That's
had
real.
no concept of that,
Look,
man.
before
he
we
pulled
move
my
forward,
coach back,
just
for
let
real.
me. Before we move forward to the next question, because I got a couple of questions I want us to address. People that you're watching us right now. Damon, what's going on? Andrea,
What's going on,
my
cuz?
second wife. What's going on, baby? KJ, we see you, baby boy. But look, as we go on, people who watching us, feel free. Talk to us, baby, because I'm going to acknowledge you. If I don't acknowledge you, my brothers Damon and Jaquari are going to acknowledge you. We want to
Sure.
hear your voices about your fathers, what you think, and how you feel. You understand? Because we are about is everyday people's voices, period. Everyday people's voices. This is what we're about, okay? Look, our YouTube channel is Strong Perspective Podcast. Go invite your people to go watch it, because I guarantee this. As many videos that we posted already. We're in our second season. This is the second episode of the second season. As many videos that we posted, somebody's going to find something in our content that's going to change your life. Meaning, it is not going to be some mind-blowing experience, but what it is the fact that the people that our guests that we bring on and what we say is going to include you into, like, hey, I've thought about that. Wow, that's deep. That is a great thing. You dig what I'm saying? This is everyday people. And we're speaking everyday things. Do I think I'm special? I think I'm special as a motherfucker. Believe me, excuse my language, ladies. I really do. You know why? Because I pay more attention to you than you should pay attention to me. So when I speak, I'm speaking from my point of view, but I'm taking you into consideration. My brothers are the same kind of people.
It's like
So what?
nowadays, man. You know,
Hold on for 1 second. Andrea posted something. I want to give her acknowledgement. She said, "I think that a great father, that you are a great father. If the boys go out and act up, it's not because they weren't raised properly." Listen, Andrea, that's a great point, and I want to add on to that. Brothers and sisters, when you're raising your children, plant the seeds and reinforce, till that soil until something happens or someone comes there and give your child something to sow those seeds. Because do not miss out on raising your children. Even if you think they're not listening, say it, communicate it to them, because that's key. We plant the seeds. Sometimes we can sow them, but our job as mothers and fathers is to plant the seeds for great men and women. I went on my tangent. So what I'm going to do, Julio, what's going on, baby boy? And Julio wants to be patient with me, guys. He said, I missed out. I had to learn indirectly on how to be a man and, more importantly, how to be a dad. Damon, you know Julio. Can you comment on that? You on mute, brother. Damon, you're on mute.
I said he could probably elaborate on that a little bit more.
No, I understand that. What I'm saying to you is this.
But I think he's doing this up.
This from your point of view, give him what you think about him and how he got through it.
Right. I think that he's doing himself a little disservice when he said it was indirectly. He had to explain that definition a little bit more to me, but from getting to know him and we growing up together and all that stuff, man, he's always been a very insightful guy. You know what I'm saying? He understand. You know, he's one of those guys, man, that understand that if you're in a situation and you being hurt by somebody, do you spread the hurt or do you understand that? You know what I'm saying? Is it cool to make somebody else feel like you felt at your lowest? I don't think he was that kind of guy. He don't have that type of character. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, he had a lot of adversity, man. You know, and hell, he's a hell of a dude, man. Very intelligent guy and a great father. So he figured it out. You know what I'm saying? He figured it out, but it was already there, man. You know what I'm saying? He just had to recognize it in himself. You know what I'm saying? And that's something, man, that you have to, when you recognize that being able to overcome adversity and all that, when you recognize man as a human being, then you come to realize, you know what I'm saying, that you already have these things in you. You know what I'm saying? And situation, it's all situational, man. You know, how it's brought out of you, man, is how it is. And you discover yourself.
Okay. Well, let me just, all fairness, let me just throw this in there. Antonio Mosley, Heart of Ways. He said that I was told I was going to be my dad. I spent my life doing the opposite of what my dad did, trying to be not him. But the bottom line is, it was easy for you to do. This is my opinion. It was easy for you to do because you understood where you wanted to be. And what you did was treat your children the way that you wanted to be treated, I'm assuming. You know what I mean? Jaquar, you want to chime in to this situation or you good?
Well, I wanted to chime in on when you were talking about the podcast and everything, man. Just real quick, I mean, a lot of people nowadays are accustomed to tuning into podcasts or tuning into YouTube or Facebook to see an uncomfortable conversation, man. An exchange, a heated exchange, but that's not what we're here to provide, man. We're here to provide comfort. We're here to provide, a space for you to finish your thoughts. You know, that's the benefit of that's the benefit to being a guest on our show, being associated with our show. Even in the comments, we encourage you to speak your mind and be who you are. As far as the fatherhood thing goes, man, I think that unconsciously, us as good dads, man, the fathers we know in our lives who are good dads, unconsciously, man, we kind of lean on the fact that we're not only parents to our kids. You know, we're not only parents to our kids, man. When we see young folks, young men, young women who we understand their potential, and it doesn't matter if they're doing something positive or negative, because you can see you can see potential in somebody who's doing a negative action at the time. That's not that person's entire life, but us as fathers, man, we reach out to those people, and we try to uh kind of put things in their head, man. Put as you said, Keith, plant different seeds in their heads, man, to say to let them know that this is not it. And you being as young as you are, you know, the highest point that you've reached right now kind of pales in comparison to what you could be. You know, we're all about the possibilities, man. Fathers are all about the possibilities. We plant seeds of possibilities, man. You know, and once we establish those possibilities, then our job is to try to help you realize them. Try to help our kids realize those possibilities. You know,
Okay. Okay.
but my ultimate point, man, is we're fathers to you know other people than our kids. What be it consciously or unconsciously, man. A good dad's a good dad. It don't matter if there's blood there or not.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look. Before you go, Damon, let me acknowledge this Facebook user. I'm not sure who this is. I have an idea, but I'm not sure. But Facebook user says, "I was raised by a great man. He loved me and he showed me the meaning of being respectful to others. Love and manners. So very, so very thankful. So very thankful for him teaching me the things before he passed." Okay, Andrea. Andrea says. Andrea Mayo says, "I thank God for sending my husband to me. He wasn't shown love, so he didn't know how. But with the help of God, he is an awesome father." And a good friend of mine, Keith Barnes, he said, keep in mind, dads, that a first time experience for you and your child, even when you have more than one, each child has their own personality. That's true. Oh, you know who it
I
is?
agree with
This is
that.
Aunt Robin. This is
Oh,
Aunt
for real?
Robin right here,
Okay.
the Facebook
Yeah.
user. Auntie,
Hey,
what's
Auntie.
going on, baby? We love you.
Hey, Auntie. Hey,
All
I
right,
agree
hey,
with
Damon, you got
Keith.
something to chime in before we move to the next cuts? Damon,
Yeah,
you got something to say before we move to the next question? This is
I
the
agree.
Father's Day edition, baby. So pay attention. We're trying to give you everything we got.
I agree with Keith Barnes, man. Based on man having two girls, man. You know, the one thing that I had to really, really learn, because they're the oldest, they're older than my son. The one thing that I had to really, really learn, man, is that I can give them, I can talk about my experience as it, coincides and relates to their experiences. It might be similar or whatever, and I can talk about it and talk about the things that I did, but that's not personal. It's not, what I'm saying. With them, they were like, Dad, I understand that. I understand what you're saying, and I get what you're saying, but I'm talking about me right now. You know what I'm saying? So I had to separate my emotions and all those things and try to make a connection to how they were feeling at the time. You know. Yeah. You have to find a way to inspire them to be great and be who they are, but also incorporate your past experiences in there too, without it making it about you. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
Without making it about you. And, it took me a minute, but I finally understood and I finally got it. You know what I'm saying? Because when you think about it, man, not to get off on a tangent, but when you think about it, man, when each kid enters school at 5 years old, you know what I'm saying, they're being indoctrinated and to fit into something and to fit into a situation. You know what I'm saying? So they have to learn that. At the very beginning, they have to learn how to be outside of themselves, just to fit in a situation. You know what I'm saying? So what do you do as a parent, man? What you do as a parent is get them to understand that they can be strong within themselves and fit in into their environment. You know what I'm saying? To fit into their environment. And I think instead of just going with the program, get them to understand that where they fit in at is where they can be strong too. You know what I'm saying? And that teaches them how to be strong within themselves, man. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just fitting in and learning your ABC or 1, 2, 3s and ABCs. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you can say ABCs backwards. Maybe you feel that's impressive. Maybe you feel that's something that you can do that nobody else can. You know what I'm saying? Get them to understand that what can I do to showcase myself and be special and stand out, because ultimately, isn't that what it is? Isn't that we want to teach our kids how to stand out? You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
Like I said, I ain't mean to go on a rant, but I'm just sitting here thinking about it, and it's like
you made great points, man. You made great points. So here, let me just, before we move on to the next question, let me just say this. And you two understand what I'm about to say. This is John Armstrong logic. And this is from the other side of the spectrum, Dana. When he said to us, and it hit me a little harder than you guys, I think, and it might have been the same, but he said, after everything, every conversation, he said, I don't have a problem with being the bad guy. And I never understood that until I became a father. Because the father has to make those hard decisions that will be the benefit for the children, but it will disappoint them and make them the bad guy in the children's eye at that moment. You see what I'm saying? See, that's the key to it. It's the simple fact that you have to understand what your role is. That role that you have as a father, there's some basic things, maybe 5 or 6 basic things to have, but really and truly, it goes in different directions depending on your child. Like you spoke on, Dana, with your girls. And you Jaquari, the same way. I have boys. So I look at them differently. Not differently like, oh, they boys and his girls. No, the simple fact that really and truly, we indirectly raise our children off of emotion, two things, off of emotions and logic. And a lot of times the boys are raised off of logic because you know why? Not because it's right. It's all we know, and that's all we was raised on. You see what I'm saying? That's my opinion. That's my take on it. It ain't no right or wrong to this. It's a simple fact that it's ever flowing and it goes in different directions and it's no right direction. Let me just do this real quick. Damon has some comments. Damon Williams has some comments. He said, Damon Armstrong, he said that he had the same conversation with his daughter as you had with your girls. Okay? Just to let you know. And then he said the other thing he had to realize that was his kids are growing up like him. So what may be detrimental to them was not necessarily an issue to him. So I didn't treat it as I should have in the first time. So he learned from trial and error.
I wonder. Did she get him to come to that conclusion? I'm asking him.
Look, we'll find out that later because just to let you guys know, Damon and Angelo Williams is going to be our next guest next week. Just to let you guys know. Okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to move on to the next question. And I'm going to ask you guys, and also I'm going to ask anybody that's watching, what is your definition of fatherhood? Ladies and gentlemen, just give me your definition. Guys in the comments, I'm going to read it, but Damon, we're going to start with you. What's your definition of fatherhood?
My definition of fatherhood, man, is my definition of fatherhood is having the compassion, man, to raise your child, man, to respect themselves, to love themselves, and to be and to go with whatever they're passionate about, man. And that has absolutely nothing to do with the world. You know what I'm saying? Like I spoke about, you know what I'm saying? Going to school it's all an indoctrination, man. It's just my opinion. It's all indoctrination to get you to fit in where you fit in. But if you can teach your child how to be independent in their thinking, you know what I'm saying, and to trust themselves, you know what I'm saying, that is a good place to start. You know what I'm saying? Because it teaches them to be responsible for their actions. It teaches them to be responsible for, you know, their personal selves. You know, and it teaches them to be inspired outside of what's being taught to them. You know what I'm saying? School is not going to teach our kids everything. You know what I'm saying? My dad found out I'm gonna keep this short. Our father found out I used to go to the library every day. He's like, man, where you go every day? What you doing? Whatever, right? I would go down to the FC library, man. I forgot that woman's name who was there, but she would put out different things. Shakespeare, O'Brien, all the classic people, man. And I would, you know, I would sit there and read it. It would just be open there for me. So she was like really, you know, trying to open how she felt. She was opening me up to stuff. So me and Pop, he's like, man, where you going every day? Yada yada, and you spend where you spending all your time? So I told him where I was going, right? Next time I went down there, I started. The book that was sitting there the next time was on Africa. You know what I'm saying? It was on Malcolm X. It was on Martin Luther King and all these different things. So what did he do? He didn't disrupt my pattern and what I was doing. He was just glad that I was opening my mind up to different things. I was getting bad grades in school, but he understood that I was learning on another level. You know what I'm saying? And how did he incorporate himself into that? He went down there and talked to the woman, and and between her and him, they broadened my thoughts. They broadened my experience. You know what I'm saying? That's who our father was, man.
Okay.
You know, that's who he was. And I didn't learn that from a long time because we and him was riding one day, man. He was like, hey, man, remember you used to go to the library? I was like, yeah. He's like, subject matter changed up, didn't it? I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? He went down there and you know, talked to the woman. He didn't care if she was white.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He was just making sure. He said, as long as you getting your head fat, I didn't care. You still need to get your grades up. But school, I was confined in school, man.
Okay.
I was confined in school because because it's not individually based, man. If your kid got an imagination, you need to expound on that shit, man. It ain't about going to school and learning your ABCs and whatever the hell they're teaching you. You know what I'm saying? Because what do society admire the most? Individual people, individual thoughts, free thinkers. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
So,
okay, before you go, Jaquar, let me just say this because KJ sent something interesting. His comment was, and that was a great fucking point, dog. KJ's comments was fatherhood, leadership, understanding, protection, education, and confidence and love. Okay? So I wanted to put that out there. Jaquari, you have the floor.
That's some good shit right there.
It is.
Definitely. I had an entirely different way I was gonna, you know, go or whatever, man. But then I seen that comment from KJ Johnson, and you know, I totally agree with it, just like you, Keith, man. You know, fatherhood is leadership, you know, but as fathers, man, we, you know, in terms of leadership, you know, we teach our children, man, that, you know, yeah, you want to lead, you want to be in charge, you want to be responsible or whatever, but, you know, in order to do that, you got to learn to be a leader. And the way you learn to be a leader is to be a competent follower. You understand, you know, the task at hand. You understand what your role is in completing the task at hand. As far as understanding, man, you know, our children, man, you know, they're especially when they're young, they're blank slates, so they don't know who they are, you know, and it's not our responsibility necessarily to dictate who they are, you know. So you know, in terms of understanding, man, you know, as a father, we you know, our responsibility is to create an environment, man, where our kids are comfortable. We're trying to find that understanding, right? And protection, you know, that's self-explanatory. And education, man, you know, like my brother Damon just alluded to, man, education does not only happen in school, man. You know, education happens when, you know, we you know, us as individuals actually pursue a subject. You know, if we're interested in cars, you know, you got a kid who's interested in cars, you know, then you put a book in his hand. You know, if he's interested in math, you put a book in his hand. If he's interested in cooking, you put a book in his hand. That's who we are as fathers. Confidence, man. You know, the way that we speak to our, you know, when our children are around us, the way that we conduct ourselves in public, the way we speak to people with respect, the way we, you know, try to problem solve in an unaggressive way when that, you know, when possible. That's confidence right there. And love, man, you know, from a fatherhood point of view, man, you know, just like from a motherhood point of view, man, it's unconditional. You know, if anybody knows who a kid is, it's their parents. You know, a mother might know other things, but a father knows specific things about his child. You know, and you know, it's the father's responsibility, man, to nurture the positive. You know, so that's I really appreciate that comment, KJ Jones, man. and I totally agree with it.
Okay, when just to answer, because I usually don't answer every question that we pose, but I need to answer this because this is something that deeply is a personal thing, and it was also done to the three of us. When it comes to education, it was a high expectation for us. Whether we achieve that expectation is another thing, but the expectation was set, period. You know what I'm saying? And that was key for me because what it did was it helped me to understand that I should ask more of myself than the world asks of me. I should have an expectation, have more expectation of me than what the world tried to define me as. You see what I'm saying? Because see, when it comes to my sons, speaking from a father's point of view, my sons, what I made sure that they understood. Yeah, you could be smart, book smart, and you could do all the things that you could possibly be and be along those realms. But if you don't love yourself, because that's what I was taught. I was taught to love who I was, taught to love that man in that mirror, that complexion in that mirror, that person who I saw every single day, which my family saw. When I walked out into the world, and which the world saw, to learn who that was. Love him, no matter what's said about him. Because loving yourself, that's where the confidence comes. The confidence in who you are and where your achievements. I don't care about achievements. My main achievements is loving me, because when I love myself, what I do exceeds what I think it should, because I love me. When I love myself, my children and my wife receives everything that I have. Listen, I'm ready to curse because it has a lot to do with who you think you are. This is how I treat people. I have that expectation that people, especially the younger folks, first, love who you are. Then you're able to receive love. And when you're able to receive love, this is what I teach my boys every single day. I've told both my sons, as a man, because I'm a pure, just to use the term, I'm an alpha fucking male. But I've told my sons, which was the truth, you are handsome. No matter what anybody says to you, you are handsome. Walk through this life knowing that one thing, that you're smart, you're handsome, and you're loving. And it's going to give you that foundation to move on. To move on, to be able to take whatever life gives you. Because guys who are out there watching, you know that if you do not get what you want out of life, it hurts triple fold if you don't love who you are. I'm going to be silent and let that really and truly marinate with you. Because here's the thing. When I say that, is this. This is why I actually said it all. Because how many of you guys out there really and truly look in the mirror every morning and say, man, I love you? Or do you wait for somebody else to tell you that they love you? That's the first thing you should think. If you don't say it, that's the first thing you should think. You want to know why? Because my parents taught me how to love my blackness. how to love my blackness because it's capable and is rightfully to be loved. But we're getting taught every day that we shouldn't love our blackness. That's crazy. That is ludicrous. But it's true. I've always loved my blackness because the people that I love the most told me that that's what I should do. And that's how I teach my sons. But look, we're going to go through the third question because I want to get the Damons speak on it strong. But I want to acknowledge everybody who's in the comments right now. I want to acknowledge you, Andrea. Love you, baby. You and your children, love you to death, baby. Thanks for tuning in. Keith Barnes, he says, fatherhood is being the primary leader to train and prepare your children to endure and survive in this world. In short, it's a short definition, right? KJ Jones says, yes, sir, Keithy. Salute, fellas. Much love to y'all. Gotta run.
Thank you for stopping past, brother.
You know what I'm saying? Thank you, KJ. E. Barnes. And look, and KJ says, I love me some me. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, as I get to know that brother, he's starting to sound like him.
It sounds just like him, though.
Yeah.
And look, and Keith Barnes, and this is deep, guys, so I want y'all to see this. I'm gonna acknowledge you, Keith, because you one of my good friends. You one of my good friends, brother. We worked together for years. He said, that's awesome. I wasn't taught that. That's a deep thing to say. That's a real deep thing to say. So, real quickly, this is the third question I wanted to address. And use a couple minutes, guys. I'm not even going to answer this. But it says, how do you think you turned out? We'll start with you, Jaquar.
I think I turned out, man, after the years of trial and error, trying to figure out exactly what my father was trying to, convey to me, man. I think I turned out decently, man, pretty good. Like I said, I don't have any natural kids, from me, but I've had the fortunate opportunity, man, to be involved in a lot of young people's lives, man. And as I said earlier, I've been a father figure to many kids, many young people, and my wins have been immensely larger than my losses, I would say, but going back to a point that my brother Damon made, man. When it comes to fatherhood, you have to divorce yourself from these situations. You have to divorce yourself from these situations, man. And I think that our father was expert at that, man. He could listen to a scenario, and like I said, he would not give you the answer or his answer, because he divorced himself from that situation because he knew ultimately,
that was annoying as hell too, man.
Yeah, ultimately that was not going to affect him, but he would ask you questions that would put your mind state in a position of thinking, man.
Yeah.
And he truly made 3 thinking men. I mean, the lessons that he imparted, man, was just, they were just so profound to me, man. Seriously, and as the old adage goes, you never, when you're a kid, you never really pay attention to your parents, even though they dropping jewels, right?
Yes, sir.
But in a way, they prepare you to remember those jewels, man. You know, and a lot of times, man, you know, the things that he said to me got me through some tough situations, man. Seriously, you know, and he wasn't about, you know, well, I don't think he was about, yeah, well, you know, whatever the situation is, no matter how difficult, whatever, I'm gonna come out on top. That was not his point of view. His point of view was, you know, look, I, you need to figure out a way to get through this situation, you know, as unscathed as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And if you can bring somebody else behind you, you know, with little to no harm, then that's what you do. That's your responsibility.
Yeah.
You know, we're all three caretakers and caregivers in you know, in different ways, man. And we've all been effective as fathers. We've all been effective as fathers. You know, and I salute us, man, because we've done a hell of a job. We've done a hell of a job, man. Seriously, you know. That's it.
Damon.
Hey, bro, when you was saying that, man, I even get annoyed to this day, man. You know how many times I called that man with looking for the advice? Son, I done raised you, man. Figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about some
Yeah,
real
everything
struggles.
you need. Yeah.
You know. But I'm still growing, man. Cause I'm a fallible human being, man. I make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? I might be mad about something and take it out on somebody that I love, and I don't mean that, but it happens. You know, and I come to realize just having that awareness, man. Because you know, especially when you're dealing with your kids and you happen to say something off color or whatever, and they looking at you like, "Whoa, dude, where the hell that come from?" You know, you have to own that shit, man.
Yeah.
You have to own that. No, oh, I'm your daddy, and that's how it is. Nah, man, that shit ain't flying. They like, dude, that ain't who I know. You on some other shit right now. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have that awareness, man. But also know that you're not infallible, man. You have your flaws. You know what I'm saying? And if you have that understanding, man, it is easier to communicate. Because you know how to navigate, not go put yourself in situations where you're not giving the right answer and shit. You know what I'm saying? Or you might be offensive. You know. And I had to learn that the hard way. You know, but I'm always open. I'm always open to learn more. Learn more, because when you take on bad habits, man, through your life experiences, that shit it tends to stick with you, and you become this hard, grizzled person, man, that pushes people away, man. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to be that. There's nothing good about that shit. You lose your humanity, man. You lose your humanity, and what do we put on this earth to be? We put on this earth to live together and treat each other with respect and humanity. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have an awareness, man, and that's what our parents taught me. That's what I got from them, having an awareness. If you a liar, man, you know what I'm saying? How you gonna live your life that way? You know what I'm saying? If you're afraid to express yourself, you're afraid to live your life, what you gonna do? Spend the rest of your life in your house, the confines of your four walls and shit? That ain't no life. You know? So I think that through discipline and being allowed to express ourselves, I think it brought me to certain conclusions where I have to continue to evolve and grow.
Okay. All right. Listen, I'm gonna let y'all know. Like I said, I'm not commenting on this because I live my life the way I live it. You know what I'm saying? So how I turned out, the good and bad of it, it is what it is, man. You know what I mean? But what we want to do, we're gonna give you your 5 minutes of speak on it strong, Damon. Knock us in the head, baby boy. Let's do what we got to do.
As we went through this conversation, man, there are some things, man, that I could speak about my interactions, man, as a father with my kids and stuff like that. And my kids are very accomplished kids, man. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing I had to do about that was allow them to be themselves, give them room to be who they are, and support that. Pass or fail. You know what I'm saying? If they've passed, that's a beautiful thing. They can move on to the next thing, the next goal. If they fail, then they're not failing on anybody else's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? They're learning from their own mistakes. You know what I'm saying? And I can talk about that all day, but as we were sitting here having this conversation, the one thing that I was thinking about that was most important is this, man. If you are in bad health, imagine how that affects your kids, man. You know what I'm saying? If you're struggling with some bad health, be it physical or mental, or if you're struggling with that shit, just imagine how it's affecting them. You know what I'm saying? Because it's innate in our children to love us unconditionally. You know what I'm saying? And when they see you struggling, when they see you hurt, they can't see beyond that. They can't see beyond that. All they see is, damn, is this dude gonna be all right? You know what I'm saying? What do I have to prepare myself for? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And they're not living life. They're not living life. So I had to learn how to be unselfish and take care of myself for their benefit. You understand what I'm saying? And that took away a lot of stress and a lot of burden. You know what I'm saying? How they gonna grow and expand and be who they are when they constantly over here worried about some shit? You know what I'm saying? And for me to ignore that, I can't understand. For me to ignore that is selfish on my part. It's selfish on my part. So I guess think about your loved ones, man. When you haven't been to the doctor, man, and God knows how long. You know what I'm saying? Think about your loved ones, man, when you sitting around and you struggling through some physical ailment, and then you look up and they watching you too. You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine that fear? It's unimaginable, man. So take care of yourself, especially us as black men. We need to fucking take care of ourselves, man.
Amen.
We need to take care of ourselves. Take your ass to the doctor. Get checked. And let your kids know, hey, man, I'm good. Let's go outside and race. You know what I'm saying? Take up the challenge, man. That gives them peace of mind, man.
No doubt.
That gives them peace of mind.
Yes, sir.
To grow and flourish and not worry about your ass sitting around talking about, hey, man, this gout, man, kicking my ass. Dad, man, you got a whole bag of candy, man.
Leave them candy bars alone.
Leave the candy bars alone, man. And the gout won't. Man, you're killing me. That's all I got to say, man.
All right.
Mine walk up and take shit out my hand. Like, what the hell is you doing? Just no.
You don't need this.
No. Mid-bite, like
yeah.
All right, listen. Look, strong perspective. This is what we about. We're about everyday people. with the everyday word, everyday voice. Excuse me. Guys, excuse me because I'm excited because you understand. I love doing this with my brothers. I love this, and I get so much out of this. So the bottom line is this: understand. Share this with other people. Tell them who we're about, when we will be there. We're there every Friday at 7:30. You're going to get something out of this. Like our videos and subscribe to our channel because this is a movement. This is what we're about. Everyday people. Ladies, on Facebook, hit me up. You want to come on? Because we want you on. We want to hear what you have to say. Guys, it's the same thing. Talk to me. This is a movement. Listen. This is what it's about. It's no more, no less than what we're trying to do is everyday people understanding. Because the bottom line is, I'm going to share this with you. Everyone that's been on with us, they said one thing consistently. I learned something about myself with you guys that I did not expect. Isn't that worth it? But subscribe to our YouTube channel, Strong Perspective Podcast. Go subscribe, please. Tell your people to go subscribe. Like our videos. Let us know how y'all feel. Because we are having a great time with each other and with you. Damon, Jaquar, y'all got something to say before we sign off?
Bro, I'm good, man. Just, I think it was very insightful, man. I really enjoyed it.
Jaquar?
I thank you, gentlemen, man, for the opportunity, man, let me express myself, man, because whether I do or not, I don't feel like I do in my everyday life with the people who are close to me, man. So it's taking this, man. And I hope the people who tune in, man, understand a little bit more about me, and understand that not only me, but us three are people who you can come to, man. Private, be it on the chat or be it privately, man, and you can talk things out. And I don't believe you'll have a judgmental ear. I don't believe you'll have a situation where you feel like you've lost something, in the course of our conversation. Because we have that style just like our Father, man. We're not gonna try to solve your problems, but we will hear you out. And there's respect there, man, and there's love, and that's who we are.
This is a movement. Everyday people movement. Hop on board, baby. We love y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Brothers, as always, thank you.
Peace.